Kevin Sidebottom here. I'm a speaker, author, and trainer, and I go around and teach sales organizations and leadership teams how to grow influence, trust, to generate higher profits and more sales. Today, let's talk about why leadership is a good quality to have. That's right, we all need to have this quality at some time or another. Why do we need it? We're going to talk about that. What is a good quality of leadership and what that's going to do for us? We're going to talk about all those aspects. I'm going to give you some examples of how you can get into leadership, how you invest in yourself, and at the very end, I'm going to give you a tidbit that John Maxwell taught me a long time ago. Okay? So let's get into this video. Why do we need to know leadership? Well, even if we're not in leadership, we need to know what a good leader looks like. Because when we're interviewing for positions or when we're working for teams, we need to identify if we need to be moving on to another organization. The quickest way to do that is to understand the leadership and if they're doing well. If it's a bad leadership environment, typically everything slows down. In a good leadership environment, everything speeds up. Well, when speed goes up, costs go down in business and profits go up. That's right. We need to understand what good leadership looks like so that way we can move forward. And as John Maxwell said a long time ago, everything rises and falls on leadership. So if we want our organizations to succeed, we better invest in our leadership. Now, typically, we are leading in some capacity or another with people. Whether we're the head of the household when we have kids or pets, or we're on a board for an organization, or we're leading a group of people somewhere. Typically, we're leading in some capacity or another. Whether you want to believe it or not, you have some influence over people, and you are leading them. So we need to make sure that we have some leadership skills and understanding in our toolbox, or else we're going to fail. Now, we need to be prepared because nobody really likes failing, especially men. We hate failure. We fear it so much, we try to work around it and work extra hard to improve our situation. Typically, if you're at an organization long enough, you get promoted. Well, you need to be able to lead the people underneath you at that point. So if you're not investing in yourself, how can you expect people to follow you and for you to set a good example and lead the group well? We need to constantly be learning about leadership. And I've spent most of my life actually learning. Even outside of college and when I was in college, I was learning about leadership. What it doesn't look like, what it looks like, and how to generate the influence to help people. We need to constantly be investing in ourselves. We need to either do trainings, read books, listen to podcasts, take on a new challenge, something that's going to grow us. We need to constantly be growing because if you're not growing, you're dying. That's right. So in leadership, I always recommend taking at least one training a year to grow myself in leadership. In 2016, I got certified by John Maxwell. I went and learned from him to be a speaker, author, and coach, and trainer, and all that good things that came along with that to help me grow as a person. And it actually took my capacity and increased it and grew myself. We actually want to take our influence and our leadership and constantly be growing because then it helps more people that we engage. We don't want to be a dictator and just keeps yelling at people. We want to help people. So we need to be intentional up here on how we can do that. If we don't, people don't grow, our leadership becomes stagnant, and we're put out to pasture. Okay? I also recommend reading books and listening to podcasts on a regular. Now, I read about 12 books a year, and not because I'm a fast reader. On the contrary, I'm very slow, so I typically read about 10 pages a day. Well, 10 pages a day, nets you about 300 pages a month, because most months are about 30 days, give or take a day or two. It gives me one tool out of each book that I put into action that I can apply each book. If you're just starting out and you don't think you can do one book a month, do one book a quarter. Listen to a podcast a week. There's tons of podcasts out there to learn from. If you're growing, your capacity increases. We have to be leading. Everything rises and falls in leadership. When I got into sales, I only did so because when a guy asked me, hey, what do you want to be in 5 years? You know, that generic question. Well, I said, I want to be a manager. I want to lead people. Great. You got to know sales. And that hit me like a ton of bricks because I never wanted to be a salesperson. But what I've learned through my career in sales and through writing my book, it actually, using the sales process, helps you build influence. And when you build influence, you have a capacity and you're actually leading people. People will follow you. Otherwise, you're just out for a walk. So we need to be engaging and learning in these things. I took sales on to go learn. It's been a lifelong mission for me to grow. I'm constantly growing every day. It doesn't mean I'm successful in everything. I fail in a lot. But I choose every year to set different goals that are going to help me improve in the aspects of leadership. Now, John Maxwell, who is the leadership guru of the 21st century, will tell you, leadership is influence. Nothing more, nothing less. If you have no influence, you're not a leader. But chances are you have some influence over some people. Wouldn't you want to be a good leader? If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. My contact's below. And if this video was helpful for you to help explain leadership, send it out, like it. Hey, share it with somebody you think it's going to add value. That's what I'm here to do, is help people. All right, we'll see you next time.